Hi guys, welcome to Bumf Box, and today's slightly different video. When life gives you lemons, you make lemonade, or as in this case, you make fizz bomb toys. And I'm going to go for something I've never seen before, a minifigure version of a fizz bomb toy. If you haven't heard of these, there's a few more famous ones, like Mermaid Fizz and Princess Fizz. And it's like a lump of, like a bath bomb with a small toy inside. Stick it in some warm water, fizzes to reveal usually a cheap plastic novelty, but in this case, a cheap Lego novelty. If you're very swish and you're very kind and don't like wasting all your Lego, obviously you can use one of those, but I'm not going to do that because I'm not mad. So on this one, I'm going to try and do American and English versions so you know what you're actually going to need quantities of. The main one is citric acid. Now this is quite tricky to get hold of because it is classed as a chemical, and if you're an adult it can be a bit dangerous, so usually you're going to need a parent to help you with this, so make sure you've got some rubber gloves or mum or dad to help on standby with this one. 220 grams of citric acid, or 1 cup if you're American. Baking soda if you're still from the States, or bicarbonate of soda. You're going to need 440 grams or so, and which is about 1 3/4 cups apparently. We're going to need some cornstarch, or good old fashioned corn flour, and around 100 to 125 grams. It's not too specific on that, and that's say 1.5 cups because it's a bit lighter. Some food dye, because we're doing minifigures, I thought we'd go with the trademark yellow colour, or pale yellow colour. A small spray bottle if you've got one. If you haven't got a spray bottle at hand, if you've got any empty, for example, window cleaning bottles or antibacterial bottles but they've got the little scoosher on the top, get one of those, but just make sure you clean it out really, really well. This is far too big, and you're going to see a few issues I had. So you really want half this, or if you've got a big one, half fill it with water, just so you're not concentrating the colour too much, because mine's made a pale yellow. And if you look at my Lego storage tub, you want a bright yellow ideally. So little tip there. You're going to want a tablespoon to use the back of the tablespoon to pat the mixture down, because you want it really tight for it to really hold the figure very, very well. A silicone cake mould is the best thing that I've come across to work this, to hold it into, because at the end when it's set, you want something simple to get it out of. I can't think of anything easier. Plus, if you're doing girls or boys specific versions, you can get, for example, love hearts, flowers, circles, whatever pattern you want. And lastly, just a simple bowl to mix it all into. To be extra specific to begin with, I've mixed all the dry ingredients into a plain bowl, and I've sieved it out to make sure all the crystals from the citric acid are separated, because you don't want any big chunks. Corn flour, bicarb is very soft, it just went straight through, but I've left a little bit of citric acid to show you. It's very crystallised, and if you don't sieve this, it's just you're gonna be left with massive chunks. And if you see it's not coming through, it's just left. Well, that's all the sides. So you're gonna have a nice smooth mixture. And to show you a little quick brief demo, I'm going to rinse through this quickly because you want to see the end result. I've got the empty tub of this, which is about 200 grams for the baking bicarbonate of soda or baking soda pot, and I've got the other one I bought, and I've filled it about 3/4 way full as a measurement, or you could say 6 heaped tablespoons, and this is for one fizzy bath bomb or minifigure toy. And I've cut the silicone pots, it's a bit easier, and that's going to ram into that one. It doesn't look like it will, but when you push the mixture down, it does fill quickly. So I'm going to show you a very, very brief demo. So, you put your mixture, which you've measured out carefully, well I haven't done that, but anyway, into your bowl. So we've got all our mixture in here. Now this is where it gets very, very tricky and specific. I've had a few trial and errors. Nothing went wrong. Yeah, a few problems on that one. However, if you do it right and you take your time, it will work. I was trying to rush and be clever, it didn't work. So, the trick is a little spray, and then you mix. You just keep mixing. Keep mixing, you never stop mixing. Because if you put too much solution in, what will happen is you'll hear a fizzing sound, and it'll be doing the end result for you. It'll be skipping a stage. You'll hear the fizzing, and it will just expand. It will keep expanding, and you want it to be dry and compact. If it's got too much moisture in there, it will just kind of spontaneously combust, and it will just end up being 2-3 sizes too big. It'll be soft, it won't go dry, it won't set, and there'll be no toy in the middle. The toy will either float to the top or sink. So you have to be very, very patient. I'm rushing this a little bit, but I'm just kind of giving you the idea. The idea is, if you touch it with your finger or start pushing it down with the back of the spoon, when it starts to set and you can see it moving, that's when you know no more water. If it's starting to bubble up and expand, you've gone a stage too far. The good thing is, with this quantity of ingredients, you've got enough for at least 8 of this size. So for a standard muffin or cake mould, you're going to be able to make 8 to 10. If you've got slightly smaller, say fairy cake, traditional baking cake moulds, you probably make 12, especially if you're using littler figures. Say if you're using a Shopkin, for example, or a smaller toy, like a Squinky, or a tiny little plastic novelty. Starting to get there. For any British people, I'm going to have to do a Blue Peter moment in a minute, because my arms are starting to get a bit sore from doing this. But as we see, it's starting to get there. And it's getting a bit more. There we go. I think one more. And you can see the colours are pale yellow. Ideally I wanted a bright luminous yellow. So, big hint, don't dilute it into 500 mils of water, cold tap water, because it's going to make far too much. Ideally 200 mils, and you want about 6 to 8 drops, very generous big drops of whatever colour you use. If you want it to be pale, 6. If you want it to be brighter, 8 to 10. And then you get a really punchy colour. Mine's come out like a bitter lemon colour, which isn't ideal for what I want, but there you go. Anyway, so simply, you get your mould, and you pack it with about half of the mix. So you want to get a good half in, then the back of the spoon, you keep pressing it down. You want it really densely packed. This is what's going to hold it and make the bomb. So, that's quite densely packed down. Then you want any figure of your choice. I've got the little David Hasselhoff impersonator there, little cheap plastic elite figure. This figure set's got 20 figures in, costs literally £2 or £3. Literally any, not cheap as Chip's Place, but any of those kind of ilk shops, they have these kind of things. There you go. Just pad it all in completely. One, nearly knocked everything over then. Keep going, keep going. Awesome. So, as we can see, nicely packed in. And this will take between an hour and 2 hours, depending on the size. The ones I've used have only took 1 hour. Here comes the scary part though. I haven't tried these yet. In a desperate attempt to get this video out today, I made these about 2 hours ago. They have set, however they haven't been tested to see if they're water soluble, so fingers crossed. This was warm water about 8 minutes ago. Obviously 8 minutes has passed. Here's a finished article. So, this is 2 I've made, just to give you a little idea. So they do set. Bit crumbly. Let's see if it works. Well, it's fizzing and bubbling. Obviously, if it was warmer water... Oh, it's expanding. Whoa. I've used too much water, haven't I, boys and girls? Yep. Where did I put that bowl? Little tip to self. Maybe don't do this anywhere where you've got anything you want to get wet. Maybe on a baking tray. Or, ideally, somewhere where you don't use as much water as this. As you can see, it's expanded by about 2-fold. So note to self, if I get rid of half this water, I might be able to get my figure out. I think I can see it. So it's dissolved pretty quick. That's not too bad, actually. I was a bit nervous thinking it wouldn't work. There you go. We've got one Lego figure. So that's not too bad. Quite happy with that. Well, I'm not happy with all the mess, but I'm happy with the figure working. So, kitchen roll time. No one will ever know. Anyway, second figure. Let's see if it's coming out alright. Hey! So the silicone moulds worked again. This time I'm going to be a bit more careful. I've obviously put too much in. Dunk. And obviously, because of the citric acid mixing, obviously it's going to expand, but the water's just whoosh straight out. So if you're going to dissolve, bigger bowl, half a pint of warm water. Come on. Ooh, am I going to be lucky? Am I going to be lucky? Oh. I can handle that. So, overall, pretty happy with this. The only one thing I would say is, probably get a parent to help. Citric acid, for anyone who's not a teenager, it's going to be tricky for you to get hold of, because you may get cheeky shopkeepers saying, why do you want citric acid? Because some dubious characters do use it for other means. So, get mum and dad to help. Rubber gloves on. Make sure you don't get it near your skin or your eyes. Make sure you're very careful using this, because it's used in cleaning, heavy cleaning, so it's like a descaling agent. Be very, very careful. But if you use it safely, it's very easy to use. It's a very simple process. The first time I've made this today, it's worked very simply. And I imagine it would work with a hell of a lot of toys. And if you're making your own made gifts, you've got some cellophane wrap. This would be a very easy way of making, for example, little stocking fillers or birthday bag gifts. Simple, simple things. And imagine how much fun you'd have with this with your kids. You could jam just about anything into these things. Just want to see if this last one's ready. Whoop. To be fair, the ones I've bought of these, being mermaid fizz and stuff, it's actually very, very reminiscent. This is one I did when I broke it into two halves to be clever, thinking, you could build him. So that's another little twist you can have. You can break them up. We got some legs. There we go. And we got Pedro the Builder's legs, whatever he's called, or Trev. You always have a builder called Trev. There we go. So overall, it does work. Very simple. All the ingredients you'll need for this won't be more than £5. For the figures, you may already have them yourself. And like I said, this will make between 8 and 12 of these. Considering the cheapest one of these bombs you'll buy in a shop is probably going to be £2 to £3. I would say, give it a try. Anyway, I hope this helps someone. Until next time,